The moment a man turns around to check who is watching him leave, he has already surrendered his power. Real men do not walk away to create fear. They walk away because the door behind them has become too small for the person they are becoming. Most men stay where they are disrespected. They remain in dead relationships, toxic friendships, empty jobs, and rooms where their presence is treated like background noise, not because they are loyal.
Because they are afraid of loneliness, afraid of starting again, afraid that the darkness outside the cage might be worse than the comfort inside it. But a real man understands something most people never will. Some doors must be closed without explanation. Some bridges must burn so brightly that even your weakest version cannot cross them again. Walking away is not weakness. It is discipline wearing a black coat. It is power moving silently through the night. The world teaches men to chase attention, chase approval, chase women who are already walking away, chase friends who only remember them when they need something, chase validation from strangers who would not survive one day inside their mind.
But the strongest man in the room does not chase what refuses to respect him. He observes, he decides, then he disappears. No long speech, no emotional performance, no final attempt to prove his value. He simply removes his presence, and that silence becomes louder than every word he could have spoken. Weak men believe walking away means losing. They think staying longer proves strength. They confuse endurance with self-destruction. But there is nothing noble about remaining in a place that is poisoning your soul. A warrior does not prove his courage by sleeping beside a snake. He removes the threat or leaves the cave. Your time is your blood. Your attention is your energy. Your presence is your power. Every time you remain where you are ignored, mocked, betrayed, or taken for granted, you teach people that access to you has no price. You teach them that they can disrespect you and still keep you. That they can break your trust and still receive your loyalty. That they can waste your time and still hear your footsteps returning. Real men destroy that illusion. They leave once and they leave completely. They do not announce their departure. They do not post cryptic messages. They do not wait outside the door hoping someone will beg them to come back. They vanish into the storm. Not because they want revenge, because they finally understand that peace is worth more than being understood. There will always be people who only recognize your value after losing access to you. Let them. Their regret is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is becoming the man you promised yourself you would become. The man who wakes before the world. The man who trains when motivation is dead. The man who keeps his word even when nobody is watching. The man who can sit alone in silence without needing noise to escape his own thoughts. That man does not return to places that required him to shrink. He does not beg old environments to accept his new standards. He moves forward, cold, focused, unstoppable. When you walk away, your mind will attack you. It will replay the good moments. It will hide the disrespect and magnify the memories. It will whisper that maybe you were too harsh. Maybe you should send one more message. Maybe things will be different this time. That is not love speaking. That is withdrawal. You are addicted to familiarity. Even pain can feel safe when you have lived with it long enough. The cage becomes comfortable. The chains begin to feel like jewelry, and the prisoner starts defending the walls that keep him trapped. This is where discipline matters. Do not trust every emotion that enters your mind.
Emotions are weather. They change by the hour.
Your standards must be stone. When loneliness arrives, do not run back. When nostalgia knocks, do not open the door. When they suddenly recognize your value, remember how easily they ignored it when you were standing in front of them. Silence is your shield. Distance is your weapon. Discipline is the hand that keeps you from reaching backward. You must understand this. Walking away does not always feel powerful. Sometimes it feels like death. You lose routines. You lose familiar voices. You lose the future you imagined. You may lie awake at night, wondering whether you destroyed something that could have been saved. But not everything broken is meant to be repaired. Some things break because they were never built to carry your weight. The old version of you wants comfort. The new version wants freedom. Only one can survive. Transformation is violent. The snake leaves its skin behind. The wolf leaves the dying pack. The warrior leaves the village that only knew him as a child. Growth demands separation. You cannot become dangerous while constantly returning to what made you weak. Every man eventually reaches a moment where he must choose: remain familiar or become powerful. Stay where everyone knows his weaknesses, or walk alone until he discovers his strength. Most choose familiarity. They would rather be accepted as a weaker man than rejected while becoming stronger. But the rare man chooses the dark road. No applause, no guarantees, no hand reaching out to save him. Only discipline, only purpose, only the sound of his own footsteps cutting through the night. That road changes him. Solitude sharpens his mind. Pain hardens his standards. Silence teaches him what noise was hiding. He begins to see the patterns, the manipulation,